Hey BookTube, it's yet another book haul.
I got my ticket for the long way round. 2 bottle whiskey for the way.
Yeah, I bought more books. It's just going to keep happening. It just is when they're on sale or there's a deal or I go to a Goodwill store or a half price. You know what? Never mind. It's just going to keep happening. So I went to Goodwill and I picked up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 books, and then I went to a book signing and it was so much fun. So I'll save those books for the end, but let me show you what I got at Goodwill because I got some really great deals. I got Rotten Ruin, which is the 3rd book in the Benny Imura series, or the Rotten Ruin series, which is all about zombies. And I have the first 2 books and this book on audio, but I don't have it in print. Boy, that's a cool spine, isn't it? So I got that, and then I got Pucker by Melanie Gideon. This came out in 2006, but I read the blurb on the inside front cover flap, and it sounds really good. It's about a guy who has been burned and half of his face is all disfigured. And it turns out he's not from here. He's from another world, and in the other world, when he's able to cross over, he is perfect and all the girls want him. So he has to make a decision as to which world he wants to live in. The one where he's perfect, or the one where maybe it's better because of other things. So yeah, he was actually kidnapped and brought over here. It's kind of, yeah. So it looks really good, and I'm kind of excited to read it. I've actually been working through the books I've been buying and reading them in print. I'm really kind of proud of myself. Yeah. I got Blackout by Connie Willis. Now, the thing about this book is that, well, first of all, she's an award-winning sci-fi writer, so I was glad to find that. And I have a book by her on audio called To Say Nothing of the Dog. It is part of a series that's about time travel, you know. So in another video that I did, someone commented and talked about this book, and they said it was really good. And so then I was in Goodwill and saw this. So I thought, oh, I'm grabbing that up. I have a feeling that it's about dystopia and war on some level. And the reason I say that is because there are planes here that are dropping bombs, and there's the Capitol building. And it does not look promising for either place. So should be a really good book, and I'm kind of excited to get to that one too. And the last 2 I bought were The Host by Stephanie Meyer. I loved this book, especially on audio, because of the way it was narrated. The narrator, I thought, did an excellent job of giving a specific voice to both Melanie and Wanda. You know, could have been very much the same, but she was really good in giving each one of them a very distinct voice, sound-wise, audio-wise, as well as, you know, of course, Stephanie Meyer gave each of them their own voices as characters. And so it was a pleasure to listen to. And for a book that's this long, you know, that's a lot of listening hours, and I really liked it. So when I saw it in print, I thought, I always want to own the books in print that I have listened to on audio. And this is a great one. And in fact, I saw the movie too, and I thought the movie stayed pretty true to the book. I mean, it wasn't every detail, but for the amount of time that you have in a movie to get what's in the book, I thought they picked really good key scenes. And so, yeah. And the last book I bought was John Adams by David McCullough. Now, this won a Pulitzer Prize, let me point that out. And this is not a book I would normally choose, but I do have this on audio, and I got it on audio because I do like biography, and it was narrated by Edward Herman. Edward Herman was the dad on Gilmore Girls. He was Mr. Gilmore, and I love his voice. I love his voice. I actually got the biography of Einstein for 2 reasons. I really like Einstein, but because he narrated it. John Adams had a fabulously interesting life. And so when I saw this, I thought, I may not pick this up and read it. I mean, it's the kind of thing which I would have to be pretty desperate for something to read to pick it up and go through it. But having said that, it's really good. It's really got a lot of great history and a lot of... David McCullough is just an excellent writer, especially when it comes to historical biography. So I wanted to own it, and now I do. Now on to the book signing. Okay, this was an event that I found out about from Simon and Schuster, and it was sponsored by Atria Books. They had Colleen Hoover, they had Abbey Glance, and they had Jamie McGuire at this signing. And so, great authors that I love, and I love their books. They mostly write new adult books, and I like that genre. I read about half that, and then the other half is young adult dystopia, fantasy, and stuff like that, sci-fi. Time travel, of course. Well, I walked in kind of cold. Like, I walked in all by myself, and I don't do well in those situations because it freaks me out. But I found a couple people to talk to, and it ended up that the people I was talking to had really high up numbers. So they were having to wait till the very end to go through the line, you know, the table where the authors are sitting and where they're signing books. So I waited with them, and as a result, I got a little more time with the authors, which was so cool. Not that I didn't go all fangirl. Well, okay, now I didn't go, oh, you're so wonderful. I wouldn't have done that because that's just not my personality. But I could not come up with anything coherent to say other than, I really like your books. Even that wasn't coming out very well. So Colleen Hoover was the author I came to first, and so I had bought the books that I wanted, and obviously I have all these on audio, but I wanted to have them in print because they were there and they could sign them. Picked up Losing Hope. I wanted both this and Hopeless, but the bookstore ran out of Hopeless, so I was kind of disappointed about that, but so I had this one and she signed it. So she looked at me, and because it's the end of the signing, she said, well, you know, they were doing a lot of personalization. And she said, what do you want me to put here? And I said, I don't know, anything really. And she said, well, what do you want? And she's putting me on the spot, and I'm thinking, I don't know. So I said, something clever. So she said, I'm totally writing that. So she did. She wrote Something Clever and then her name, which I think is totally awesome. So Abbey Glance was next in line, and so I got the Vincent Brothers and the Vincent Boys. I would have gotten the entire Seabreeze series, but all of those books are not out yet. So she was so sweet. She wrote to Jen, and with hugs and kisses, and then her signature on both books, and she was delightful. She was so funny. She's just a funny person. And you know what? She said she's a really fast writer, and she does. She cranks these books out. She's amazing. And they're all, you know, they tend to be a little bit similar kind of in the plot, but who cares? I love her characters. They're not plot driven. They're just fun. They're just fun to read. And the last two I got were Walking Disaster and Beautiful Disaster. And I had Jamie McGuire sign them, obviously. And by the time I got to her, I was able to form a coherent sentence. And they all put to Jen, which was sweet. And I asked about audiobooks. I said, do you all have any input into who narrates your audiobooks? And they said, no, not really. We just basically find out when they're coming out. And so I said, you guys have amazing narrators. You have amazing narrators. This one, it was an autographed book already, so she just put to Jen and then the rest. But so, you know, that kind of started that conversation. And Abbey Glance and Colleen Hoover were, you know, I'd already been talking to them, and so they were talking to other people. But Jamie McGuire was wonderful, and she said, have you heard of Tamara Weber? And I said, yes, I had read Easy. And she said, her son narrates my new book, which is called Red Hill. She said, he is amazing. Now, that book is right up my alley. It's kind of the marriage of the two things I love the most, which are new adult and post-apocalyptic dystopia. It's kind of a zombie book, you know. And so I was amazed. I said, really? And she said, yeah. And Emma Galvin is another person that narrates that book. It's like from 3 points of view. And so there are 3 narrators that do it. And I'm excited about that because she just said it's really good. And she said, I know it's my book, but it's just really good. I was really pleased with the narration. So I'm actually really excited to read that book, and I think it may be the next thing I get on audible.com. So that's my book haul for right now. I'm just going to say for right now because God knows I'm probably going to buy more books. I always do. When I see great books, I can't resist them. Can't resist them. Anyway, that's it for right now, and I will see you next time. And thank you so much for watching.
When I'm gone, you're gonna miss me when I'm gone. You're gonna miss me by my hair. You're gonna miss me everywhere. Oh, you're gonna miss me when I'm gone.